Tina from tinahills.com, and today I want to share with you a little bit of my personal healing journey and bits and bobs from very many cases that I've worked with and other experiences that I've had. The key component to this discussion is all about understanding that healing, the process of healing, is not linear. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Okay, firstly, before I get to this, expanding this idea, let's get to healing. What is healing? As the soul incarnates and takes on a human form, and we have this body and we have this family and we have this experiences that we have to deal with, right? And we go through very many experiences that give us pain, that leave trauma, that that can really affect and hurt our psyche. Now, this pain is not only pain that we experience from the time we are conscious, but we've had pain we are holding on to from our mother's womb and before that. What do I mean by that? I mean that a child actually feels and experiences a lot more than what we understand in the mother's womb, okay? And a lot of experiences of when they now know that the fetus cries. So crying as an expression is already, as a way to release emotion, is already inbuilt in the infant, to understand the sound of the mother, the sound of the father, the sound of the immediate family the fetus lives with, the child lives with, okay? So there is a lot of trauma that the child can also be born with. For that, we have special astrology that deals with past lives, that deal with Rahu, which is the south node, and a lot many aspects, of course. So a soul is incarnating on this plane with previous baggage, if you know what I mean, okay? Previous baggage from previous incarnations, and the soul is also bringing in information from other universes. And what do I mean by that? I mean that universes bleed into each other. We experience time as linear. Why? Because we, as in consciousness, chooses to observe a fixed point, a fixed option that it takes, and that creates the reality in front of him or her. So we are every step of the way creating our own reality. But nothing is linear. Yes, we experience Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in a linear sequence because we are choosing every microsecond, whether we are aware of it or not, is of course pretty clearly elucidated by the fact that most of us exist only in the 3D. So most of us are not aware of the 5D or 4D or other dimensions or other worlds. Most of them don't believe it, okay? But the point is that there are multiple universes with a gamut of life forms we can't even imagine, with so much diversity and so much uniqueness that will probably leave us speechless. So that is the complexity and beauty of the universe, okay? Now, when we incarnate or when we're having this particular experience in this body, for instance, me, I am now Tina Hughes and I am experiencing this body and I'm sitting over here in front of this camera and speaking to you with this personality. But I'm beyond that. I'm beyond this personality. Okay? But to experience this 3D world, I have become me. with my thought patterns, with my structures, with my ideologies, and my learning and my nature-nurture equation, that now I stand here and I look at life in this particular way. As Tina Hughes, and what I aim to do, what I plan to do. If I had not observed these particular options that led to my life, then I would not be this person. So to be this person, I, as in my consciousness, is experiencing reality in a linear fashion. Okay? But time is not really linear. And this soul is a part of a meta soul of 144. And then the breakup of 12 and the whole story of twin flames comes from there. So now what to do about healing? Why do we expect healing to be linear? If time is not linear, if we are living in a wondrous stack of multiverses with infinite possibilities, then why do we expect healing to be linear? Healing cannot be linear. So you may be able to heal with cosmic energies, you may be able to heal with appeasing your ancestral energies, you may be able to heal with forgiveness modules. So it depends on you what you decide to choose, but first you have to embrace your multidimensional self. And to truly understand that you are not just this body, you are not just this person, or you're not just this experience, but you're part of that meta soul that is experiencing every single thing. So once we understand that, life becomes quite profound, and we begin to have synchronicity and profound experiences. Okay, so that is a huge part of waking up, or being called woke, is being open to these ideas and these possibilities. So when Jim Carrey was saying that, forget the actor, the characters I've played on screen, they don't exist. Even Jim Carrey doesn't exist. Okay, so at that, the interviewer was very perplexed. What do you mean by Jim Carrey doesn't exist? It's just this, that Jim Carrey has finally understood the concept of awakening, of embracing his multidimensional self. Once he did that, he understood that he's not Jim Carrey. Yeah, part of him is playing out as Jim Carrey right now, but that's not the be-all and end-all of it all. And how he said that, things just happen, things just get done. I get up, I put on the clothes get put on, if you watch his interview. And that was woke as fuck, if you ask me. Even this amazing documentary, I Needed Color, I think that's what it was called. So once you understand that you are a multi-dimensional meta soul, then you don't get caught in this ideas and the pain, the suffering of 3D. In some way you are able to look beyond it. That's what the Buddhas do. They awaken the meta soul aspect. They connect to that one unitary consciousness. So healing is not 1 + 1 = 2. There's so much of our physical world that we are not even aware of, that we don't understand. Can we just label them as non-existent because we don't experience them? There's a lady who sees something in the vicinity of 250 million colors. There's a name for it, the scientific name I'm forgetting right now, tetrachromatic or something, not technochromatic or something like that. Okay, so that's interesting. Just Google a woman who sees 250 million colors. Wow. As a psychic, my experiences is that sometimes words take on smells, words take on colors, words take on shapes, Sometimes it's the face of a person I'm looking at just fades out, and I just see colors and energy and fractals. It's crazy, but that is affirmative of the fact that the universe is a fractal. So if the universe is a fractal, then how gigantic is that fractal from which this fractal has popped out of? It's infinite. It's all encompassing. I mean, the human intellect is dwarfed when it tries to understand such a vast concept, a concept of such a vast magnitude. You know? So don't take life as 1 + 1, 2. Okay, people ask me that why, Tina heals. How do you heal? What is it that you do? Are you some sort of a black magician? Are you like that red lady in Game of Thrones? What do you do? So my response to them is that healing is not something you do. Healing is a process that happens within. But where do I come in? I come in and create a sacred space for you without shame, blame, or judgment. And I invite you to explore whatever it is that you need to explore. And I treat this as sacred. So the sacred space that I create opens you up to the healing that is already within you. Yes, by the power of intention, I can send you violet balls. Yes, by the power of my meditation, I can send you Reiki. I can work with other modalities like distant healing, other distant healing stuff, And so the concept is that healing is only fostered by facilitators like me who take on this responsibility to guide you, to be there for you, because I understand that healing is not linear, and there could be things that you want to talk about that you cannot speak with anyone about. So I'm here, and once you open up, you begin to solve situations in your mind. You begin to see the pattern of how things fall into place. I can so much so as help you, embrace you, love you, and create a sacred space for you to open up and explore this multi-dimensional aspect of healing. So that's how I heal, That's how I share my energy with you. That's how I give my energy to you and open myself up as a conduit for cosmic love and gratitude to flow through. So you feel the resonance of those vibrations, and you can open up, and you can help yourself and awaken that Kundalini. Because you could speak of certain things with someone, because you could experience certain things with someone, So having a compassionate facilitator is a huge part of the healing process. No matter who they are, no matter what they look like, no matter what they sound like, you have to resonate with them, And once you resonate with them, then you really see how energy flows in a very harmonious way. With some of the teachers I've had, it's been alchemy, It's truly been alchemy. So from the ethereal guides that I have, to the great sadhaks to the great yogis and sadhaks who are my guides and soul companions, I mean, all I can say is that I allow that energy to flow through. And if you only allow that to receive, if you allow yourself, if you allow that energy to wash over you, then the job is done and healing has occurred. You know? But you have to be prepared to understand that healing is not linear. It can never be. It's an intense tapas or meditation. Embarking on the path of healing is an intense process of self-actualization. It brings me to the topic of Chiron, the wounded healer, who was a centaur, and who got mortally wounded but could not die. So he decided to give up his life and take the place of Prometheus. But at that point Zeus appeared and made him the constellation. So Chiron suffers in pain, and to rid himself of this pain, he embarked on the path of healing. So once he could not heal himself, he did not give up on this path. He kept walking, intrepidly trekking on this path, because he wanted to heal others, because he wanted to be a mentor to others, because he understood healing is not linear. Healing is magic, but you have to work with that magic every day. You have to invite that magic consciously into your life, right? So think about what I said. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. Drop me an email if you want to work with me as your facilitator. It was lovely being here and speaking with you. See you soon. Bye.